What is up, my audience? It's your homeboy TMG, aka Bernard here. And yup, as the title says, I'm going to be doing a collection stream on... I'm going to be doing a collection stream on my entire Blu-ray collection. Yup, because as you can see right here, I have a lot. And I mean a lot of Blu-rays. But before I do before I start showing the movies, I was originally gonna do this on Friday, but then I have nothing much to do right now, so I decided to go ahead and do it today. So I'm gonna be starting off with the first pile right here, which is this pile. These two piles are the ones I'm gonna start off with. So in a minute, I will get the tiles. I'll get the tiles out. All right, the tiles. I have the tiles out, so. I can show all of them, Justin. Why do you care? I can show all of them in one stream. Yes, I have a lot of Blu-rays, but I can still show them. Okay, jokes aside though, let's do this. Starting off with Baby Driver. Peak movie right here. Do want to give this one another watch, but this time on this copy right here. But yeah, Baby Driver. Peak movie right here. This one's on my watch list. And Sup Caesar. I have seen District 9, and that one is peak. This one I'm interested in. Gran Turismo, I am also interested in as well. I haven't seen that one yet, but I do want to see it. I do want to watch it someday. Next up, one of my favorites from Pixar, Up. Love this movie a lot. The opening scene never fails to tear me up, for real. Although I do want to give this one a rewatch soon. On this copy, though. I have WALL-E on DVD. But yeah, Up. Love this movie a lot. Now here's a great one. Great and underrated Sony and Oddman flick right here. This one is criminally underrated. Well, yes, but actually no. And Sup Sol. After Christmas needs a rewatch. And oh joy. Not Mickey Peters. No! Not Mickey Peters. Get out, 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 get out. Unironically though, Sup. And no, Mickey Peters, if you see the title, this is my entire Blu-ray collection, so you got it wrong, buddy. But yeah, great movie. I also have Ghost Protocol on Blu-ray, which I'll be showing that one later on, and Fallout as well. And this one is awesome. I have the first 3 Mission Impossible movies on DVD, and Ghost Protocol, this, and Fallout on Blu-ray. And I also do have the Reckoning duology as well. Now here's another peak movie, The Lion King. Classic. Yup, Mickey is definitely the villain in Rogu Nation. But yeah, The Lion King. Love this movie a lot. Next up is one of my favorite movie trilogies, the original Star Wars trilogy. Love this trilogy to death. Cannot go wrong with this trilogy. Okay, now on to the next pile. Now here's another peak Pixar movie, Toy Story 3. Love this movie a lot. I'm not gonna bother showing it, so yeah. Great and underrated DreamWorks movie right here. Really like this one a lot. And here's another peak movie, Skyfall. AKA, the movie that introduced me to James Bond. This one's peak, but it does require a rewatch. And here's another one, Casino Royale. One of the oldest Blu-rays I own in my collection. I also have Quantum of Solace on Blu-ray, and I don't have Spectre yet, but I do want to get that one. And no, Mickey, I don't have the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, but I do want to get the first steps in my collection soon. I have Casino Royale on Blu-ray, and Monster House and Black Hawk Down on DVD, and Talladega Nights on Blu-ray. Okay, now let me get out the next pile. Just gonna get out the next pile, so I'll be. Alright, the next pile is here, so let's continue. Continuing on with Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Peak stuff right here. And it has one of the most craziest stunts in the entire franchise. Literally one of the best stunts in the franchise. Tom Cruise is a legend for pulling off that Burj Khalifa stunt. Easily one of the best stunts in the franchise, along with the plane stunt. For real. This one is also another fantastic movie, but it does require a rewatch after many years. For real. All my homies love Tom Cruise. And here's another one. Full Metal Jacket. One of my favorite war movies of all time, and overall, a war classic that you just cannot go wrong with. What is that? What the fuck is that? This one is also peak. My favorite movie of 1996, in my personal opinion. I do want to give this one another rewatch, but I want to watch the extended version. Which I will probably watch it again on this copy, but I'm gonna watch the extended cut. Now here is one of my favorites. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Peak movie right here. This and Ratatouille are both movies that never fail to make me hungry. And here's a funny thing too. Sony Wonder is credited on the disc. I want to try getting the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs game for the PS3 sometime soon. Because that game does look pretty good. I have District 9 and Zombieland on Blu-ray, and I don't have Terminator Salvation yet. Spider-Man 3 and Casino Royale I have both on Blu-ray, and I am now missing Ghostbusters and Hancock. But yeah, love this movie a lot. Now here is also another peak one. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Love this movie a lot. Cannot go wrong with this one. The first word of the title describes my opinion on the movie because it really is fantastic for sure. No pun intended. This one's also another awesome one, and this one I also remember seeing in theaters twice, back in 2017. I also saw the spin-off Dogman in theaters, and that was a great movie. Do want to get that one someday. But this one is awesome. Recently gave this one a rewatch not too long ago, and it manages to hold up very well. Really underrated movie right here. Okay. This one also does need a rewatch, but I do remember seeing this one in theaters back in 2016. I have the original Finding Nemo on DVD, which that one's peak. Next up, one of my favorite superhero movies, Logan. Love this movie a lot. Yeah, same here, Caesar. I also saw Finding Dory in theaters when it first came out. But yeah, Logan. Peak cinema. Alright, now we're on to the next pile. Starting off with District 9. Peak movie right here. Love this one a lot. I have District 9 and Zombieland on Blu-ray as well. Okay, next up, one of my favorite Christmas movies. This is overall a classic one. Home Alone. Love this movie to death. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Yeah, love this movie a lot. Cannot go wrong with this movie. I do want to get Home Alone 2 Lost in New York in my collection because that is, in my opinion, my favorite Home Alone movie. In my opinion. This case is a pain in the ass to close. On. There we go. But yeah, Home Alone. Peak movie. And next up is a movie that we don't talk about, but you know what? I'm gonna say it anyway. Fight Club, 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 Fight Club. But yeah, Fight Club. Love this movie a lot. Yeah, well, you're too late now, Mickey, so cope harder, bruh. Cope harder. But yeah, Fight Club. Peak movie right here. And here is also another peak one. Mission Impossible Fallout. This one's also peak. And sup, John. And here is another peak movie. The Silence of the Lambs. Peak cinema. And here is also another hilarious as hell movie. Spaceballs. Peak comedy right here. And I know the sequel. I know that there's a sequel to this movie coming out next year, which I don't know if I'm excited for it, but I'll think about it. And sup, Rookie Warrior, by the way. I forgot you were in the chat, but hi though. Now let me get the last pile. Let me get the last few out of the first pile. So. Nice. All right. Continuing on with Man on Fire. Watch list. But I do want to give this one a first time watch sometime soon. Next up, one of my favorite movies of all time, Back to the Future. Love this movie to death. Yeah, Back to the Future. Love this movie a lot. Cannot go wrong with this. This one's also an awesome sequel as well. Really like this one a lot. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree that it's the weakest one out of the Deadpool movies, but it's a really awesome sequel. This one is also on my watch list. I do want to get the sequel, The Golden Circle on Blu-ray sometime. And I know that there is a prequel to this movie called The Kingsman, which I haven't seen, but don't know if I'm gonna watch it. But it does look pretty good though, from what I know. That church fight scene is some batshit insane stuff, bro. This one also needs a rewatch. Another movie I remember seeing in theaters. For real, Queen is goated. You cannot go wrong with Queen. My favorite Jackass movie, in my personal opinion. And I know Best and Last comes out this week, which I want to try seeing it soon. Which I'm planning on seeing Best and Last in theaters soon. Fantastic movie right here. The first Predator is an awesome movie. Predator 2 is a good sequel, and Predators is a great one. Confront me all you want, but I really enjoy Predators a lot. And John, I'm gonna see Jackass Best and Last first, and then Supergirl later on. But I'm still seeing both of them in theaters. Now here comes another classic one, RoboCop. This one is also peak. Okay, now time for the last two. Whiplash. Peak cinema. My favorite movie of 2014, in my personal opinion. And finally, last one in this pile, The Polar Express. Love this movie a lot. One of Zemeckis' best movies for real. And one of my favorite Christmas movies. Okay. Let me go get the next pile, so BRB. Oh fuck, how was I on mute? Yeah, The Terminator. An 80s immortal classic that you just cannot go wrong with. This one is also on my watch list. And I know that there is a, I know that there is the 1952 version of this movie, which I do want to give that one a watch, but I mostly want to watch this one. I remember one Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode did a parody of this movie, and that was pretty funny. Okay, next up, the Alien movies in a 6-film box set. All of these movies are on my watch list. This one includes Alien, Aliens, Alien Free, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant. And here's another box set, the Die Hard Legacy Collection. Yeah, and the Caesar, I'm pretty sure that the first 4 Blu-rays I'm pretty sure the Blu-rays of the first 4 Alien movies are reprints. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, the original Die Hard is a peak one. This one includes Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 4.0, and A Good Day to Die Hard. This one I've seen bits and pieces of, so I'm thinking of watching it in its entirety soon. And I'm also aware that there was a movie tie-in video game of this movie, which I do want to try getting that one someday. The weakest Final Destination movie, but it's still a good one. I also have Final Destination 5 and Bloodlines on Blu-ray, which I'll be showing those two later on. Came with 3D glasses. Bloodlines for me, to Justin. And here comes another peak one. The Sixth Sense. Peak cinema. Now here comes another one. The 21 and 22 Jump Street duology. Both of these movies are on my watch list. So I might do a double feature watch of these two movies soon. I forgot this movie even existed. Okay, now let me get out the next pile of the bottom row, so... minute. Okay, continuing on with The Lost Boys. Peak vampire movie right here. Love this one a lot. Okay, next up. The only Clint Eastwood movie I have on physical media. But I do want to get more of his filmography soon. And this one's on my watch list. This one is a very awesome sequel, but it does require a rewatch. I have the first 3 Transformers movies and the first Star Trek on Blu-ray, and World War Z I want to get soon. And this one didn't come with a DVD, but oh well. And here's the second one. This is the only one of the Star Trek reboot trilogy I haven't seen yet. But I do hope to give this one a watch soon. Yeah, like I said, I have the first two Star Trek movies on Blu-ray as well. Now here comes another peak one. 42. Peak sports movie right here. Love this movie a lot. The back of the code is blank, so I don't need to show it. For real, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. GOAT. Here comes some more. This is also a fantastic one, but it does need a rewatch. I might give this one a rewatch this week, considering that Supergirl is coming out this week. So I'll give this one a rewatch sometime soon. Okay, next up is one of my favorites from Pixar, and personally my favorite animated movie of 2015 in general. Inside Out. Love this movie a lot. One of Pixar's best movies for real. I also have the sequel Inside Out 2 on Blu-ray, which that's a fantastic sequel as well. And this one I also remember seeing in theaters back in 2015. Okay. Another peak one, but it does need a rewatch. Another movie that I also remember seeing in theaters back in 2019. This one slaps. I also have the sequel, Fury of the Gods, on 4K, which that is a good sequel. It's nowhere as good as this one, obviously, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. And hey, SGN. Hold on. Okay, next up is another peak one. Joker. Love this movie a lot. Though it does need a rewatch. And as for Folie Do, I'm not getting that sequel because that sequel is a piece of shit. But this one is peak cinema. Shut up, SGN. Shut up. But yeah, peak cinema right here. Okay. This one is on my watch list. Do you want to give it a watch sometime? This movie I do not like nowadays. But you know what? I'm gonna keep it for my superhero collection. I'm keeping this movie for my superhero movie collection. And I do want to get the Zack Snyder Justice League cuts sometime soon. Okay. Next up, Birdman. Also on my watch list. Also on my watch list as well. Okay, now for the last four of this pile. Only saw bits and pieces of this movie, so I'm gonna have to give it a full entirety watch. Also saw bits and pieces of this one before. I have no opinion. I have Casino Royale and Talladega Nights on Blu-ray, and Black Hawk Down and Monster House on DVD. See, I also saw bits and pieces of this movie before, so this one needs a full entirety watch. And next up, one of my favorites, Zombieland. Love this movie a lot. I don't have the sequel Zombieland Double Tap yet, which That is an awesome sequel. Not as good as the original, obviously, but it's still an enjoyable sequel for what it is. Okay, now BRB. Shit. I turned it to my face by mistake. Actually, there are two bonus ones. So before we get on to the next one, The Expendables 1 and 2. And these are both movies that are on my watch list. Also on my watch list, along with the first movie and the third. And I haven't seen the fourth Expendables yet, and I don't know if I will because I heard that one is pretty bad, so I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Okay, hold on. Alright. I got out the next pile, so let's continue on ahead. This one I also remember seeing in theaters, and this one's Peak. It also came with a comic book, which is pretty cool. I have Far From Home and No Way Home on 4K, and I know Brand New Day is coming out next month, which I do want to give that one a shot. It looks pretty good. Hang on. Okay, next up, one of my favorite animated movies, and another Peak trilogy that I love to death. The Kung Fu Panda movies. Yup, love these movies a lot. This one is Peak. Hi, Brandon Chow. But yeah, love this movie a lot. And while the first one is Peak, this sequel is just as peak as the first movie. And this is honestly my favorite Kung Fu Panda movie in the franchise, in my opinion. And here comes another Peak one. The third movie. Another Peak movie right here. But yeah, love these movies a lot. And I also do have Kung Fu Panda 4 on 4K, which that is a good movie. It's the weakest one, but it's still a good one. I enjoyed it for what it was. Great and underrated movie right here. I don't have the sequel yet, which I thought the sequel was good, though the first one is better in my honest opinion. This one also does need a rewatch. And I do want to try getting a newer copy of this one soon. Fantastic movie right here. And this movie, and the more I rewatch this movie, the more it makes me miss Blue Sky. This one's also Peak, but it does need a rewatch. Fantastic Pixar movie right here. Really like this one a lot. Another peak movie, but it does need a rewatch. I also remember seeing this one in theaters back in 2021, almost 5 years ago. Okay, now next up, the two Sonic movies. I'm gonna start off with the first movie. Fantastic movie right here. However, though, the sequels are slightly better. Yeah, the sequels is where the Sonic movie franchise gets better. My personal favorite one out of the Sonic movies, and this one I also remember seeing in theaters. I do have the third Sonic movie on 4K, which that one is peak. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 4 when it comes out. Next up, here is another peak one. Deadpool. Love this movie a lot. One of my favorite R-rated superhero movies of all time. Okay, next up, one of my favorites. Top Gun. Love this movie a lot. This is some peak shit. But yeah, Top Gun. Love this movie a lot. Cannot go wrong with this. Good sequel. Not as good as the original, obviously, but I still thought that this was a pretty fun sequel. I enjoyed it for what it was. Alright. Time to show some more. And I'm gonna be showing more with the first three Despicable Me movies. Starting off with the first movie. Love this movie a lot. Easily a fantastic start to Illumination. Now moving on to the sequel, Despicable Me 2. This was my favorite Illumination sequel until 13 years later, the Super Mario Galaxy movie managed to surpass it. Which I also did see the Mario Galaxy movie in theaters, and that one is peak. I do want to get that movie soon. And next up, Despicable Me 3. Great movie. I have the first 5 movies up here on Blu-ray, and I have the Lorax on DVD. Good movie. However, though, I do think the sequel, The Rise of Gru, is slightly better. But I still enjoyed this movie for what it was. And I also do have the sequel, Rise of Gru, on 4K, which that's also a great sequel. Okay, now continuing on with... This is Sparta! Yep, 300. Fantastic movie right here. I haven't seen the sequel, Rise of an Empire, yet, and I'm probably not gonna bother with it. But this one is an awesome movie. Really like this one a lot. Awesome and underrated DreamWorks animation movie right here. I remember watching the Penguins of Madagascar show on Nickelodeon many years ago. Great show, but I do want to give it a rewatch sometime soon. And yes, here comes another one. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie and Sponge Out of Water. The first SpongeBob movie is peak, and Sponge Out of Water is an awesome one. Really like that one a lot. I am now missing Sponge on the Run, which that is the weakest SpongeBob movie, but I still enjoyed it from what it was. Search for SquarePants I don't have yet, which I thought that movie was just genuinely okay. If Plankton the movie does get a physical media release, that would be pretty cool because I enjoyed that one. It was a good one. But however though, do not even get me started on the shitty ass Sandy Cheeks movie. That movie is nothing but a Netflix cash grabbing 87-minute waste of nothing piece of that the Sandy Cheeks movie is nothing but a Netflix cash grabbing 87-minute worthless fucking piece of goddamn shit. Fuck that movie a lot. Yeah, seriously. Fuck the Sandy Cheeks movie. Fuck that movie. But overall, I really like these movies a lot. To the first two SpongeBob movies. Really like these movies a lot. However, though, I do think The Secret Life of Pets 2 is slightly better than the first movie, in my opinion. And these are also two movies that I remember seeing in theaters. Yeah, fun movies right here. Ah, yes. Now here comes another peak one. One of my favorites. Forrest Gump. Love, love, love this movie a lot. Yep, Forrest Gump. Love this movie to death. Cannot go wrong with this. This one's also peak. I haven't seen the sequels, 10 Cloverfield Lane and The Cloverfield Paradox yet, but I do want to watch those soon. Now here comes one of my favorites. The Peanuts movie. Love this movie a lot. You could never go wrong with the Peanuts. One of Blue Sky's best for real. Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Love this movie a lot. My original rating for this movie was an 8 out of 10, but then, since my last rewatch, it bumped to a 10 out of 10 because this is some peak stuff right here. Personally, my favorite Madagascar movie, in my opinion. I have Shrek the Third and B movie on DVD, and the original Madagascar on DVD, and Kung Fu Panda on Blu-ray. This one is also another fantastic one that I remember seeing in theaters. I'm also looking forward to seeing what the sequel has to offer, which I will be seeing the sequel in theaters when it comes out. Now here's another peak one. Alien. No, I mean Airplane. Fuck. Airplane. Excuse my typo. But yeah, Airplane. Hilarious as hell movie. If you haven't seen this one yet, I highly recommend it. It is some funny shit right here. One of the funniest comedies ever. And easily one of the best movies of the 80s. And here is another cool thing. It came with a poster. Which I do want to stick this poster up soon. There we go. But yeah, Airplane. Love this movie a lot. Now, let me get the next pile. Excuse me. Scanning out the next pile, so... Shit. Alright. I have the next pile, so... Time to continue. And here comes the next pile. Starting off with... The Dark Knight. Fucking love this movie a lot. One of the best superhero movies ever made, and easily Nolan's best movie. And this is a movie that you just cannot go wrong with. But yeah, The Dark Knight. Love this movie a lot. Next up is its sequel, The Dark Knight Rises. It does need a rewatch though. Yeah, this one does need a rewatch. It's the weakest one after Nolan Batman trilogy, but it's still a very great one. This next one is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Pretty good sequel, although I do need to give it a rewatch. Actually, I'm gonna show the first Transformers and Dark of the Moon, so yeah. Here's the first movie, which this is a fantastic one. Yeah, loose disc. Which, funny story is that, when I got my recent Blu-ray copy of Minions, this part that was holding the disc was broken, so I had to replace cases for it. But yeah, really awesome movie right here. This one also does need a rewatch as well. Oh shit! I forgot to put the digital code back in, but I forgot to show it. So give me a minute. Okay, now continuing on. Final Destination 5. Great movie. This one I remember seeing in theaters, and this is, in my personal opinion, my favorite Final Destination movie. I really had a fun time with this one. And next up, one of my favorites from Disney, Wreck-It Ralph. Love this movie a lot. Peak movie right here. And overall, a peak movie that you just cannot go wrong with. And there's also another peak one. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Love this movie a lot. And here comes another classic. Beauty and the Beast. A timeless Disney classic that you just cannot go wrong with. Love this movie a lot. And next up is one of my favorite movies of all time, my favorite animated movie of all time, and this is overall my favorite movie based on a TV show. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Yes. Love this movie so much. But yeah, love this movie to death. This one is also peak. I do have the sequels, Star Trek Into Darkness and Beyond, on Blu-ray as well, which I did show them earlier ago. Hilarious as hell movie right here. I have the first two Jackass movies on DVD and Jackass 3 on Blu-ray, and I am now missing Jackass Forever, which I do want to get that one sometime soon. Now, next up is Bumblebee. This one is also peak, and my personal favorite Transformers movie. I have the first three Transformers movies on Blu-ray, like I shown, this as well, and Transformers 1 on 4K. And as for The Last Night, I'm not getting The Last Night because that movie is a piece of shit. But overall, this one is peak. And this one I also remember seeing in theaters. Another fantastic movie right here that I also remember seeing in theaters. Okay, now next up, here is another peak animated movie from 2024 that I remember seeing in theaters, and I absolutely loved it a lot. The Wild Robot. Love this movie from start to finish. This is my favorite animated movie of 2024, without any question. So glad I saw this one in the theaters. Now, next up are two 2025 movies that I remember seeing in theaters, and I really enjoyed these two a lot. The Bad Guys 2 and the 2025 Naked Gun reboot. This one I saw in theaters twice last summer, and I really enjoyed it. Awesome sequel. And in my opinion, I think this one is slightly better than the first movie. I have the first Bad Guys on 4K, and I have these four as well. I am now missing How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, now, hold on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry I took so long, I just had to put the other titles back on the shelf. Continuing on with... Hey, you guys! The Goonies. Love this movie a lot. Classic stuff. This one is on my watch list. Do you want to give this one a watch soon? Only saw bits and pieces of this one, so it doesn't need a full entirety watch. Also on my watch list. Hold up. This one is also Peak. Now here comes another Peak sequel, and this is also one of the best Legacy sequels ever. Top Gun Maverick. Yes. Love this movie a lot. Easily one of my favorite movies of 2022. Do you want to give it a rewatch, though, sometime soon? Now this one is Peak. Love this movie a lot. And I also do have Avengers Endgame on 4K, which that one is also Peak. One of my favorites from Disney. Love this movie a lot as well. I don't have the sequel Zootopia 2 yet, which I do want to get that sequel someday, because that's also another Peak sequel that I remember seeing in theaters. And here comes another Peak one. The Lego Movie. Love this movie a lot. Yep, The Lego Movie. Love this movie a lot. And to John, I haven't seen Piece by Piece yet. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. Do want to give it a watch in its entirety soon, but it does look pretty good. This is also another fantastic one that I remember seeing in theaters back when it first came out in 2017. And this one does also need a rewatch as well. to the Lego Ninjago movie. Alright, continuing on with Speed, a 90s classic right here. And this is an overall action classic that you just cannot go wrong with. And here's also another peak one, Scream, peak cinema. I don't have Scream 2, 3, or 4 yet, which I do want to get those soon, and the Scream reboot is another fantastic one. Scream 6 is also another fantastic movie, and I haven't seen Scream 7 yet, so I can't say. This one's on my watch list. I will watch Scream 7 eventually. I just gotta be in the right mood to watch it. This one's on my watch list. Okay, next up, Beetlejuice. Nice fucking model! Yeah, classic right here. Cannot go wrong with this one. Smokin'! Yeah, love this movie a lot. And don't even get me started on Son of the Mask, because that movie is a piece of shit. But this one is peak, though. A great movie, a great sequel in my opinion. Just as great as the original Spinal Tap in my opinion. And this is also another movie I remember seeing in theaters last September. Rewatch. Yeah, the weakest Toy Story movie, but it's still a good movie. This one's a good movie. It's enjoyable for what it is. It has its flaws, but it's a good movie. Shit, not again. Alright. Now we are moving on to the last few piles. This one needs a rewatch along with the sequel. Fantastic movie right here. Really like this one a lot. Oh yeah, and as for hang on. And as for these movies, however, I also have Smurfs: The Lost Village on DVD, which that one does need a rewatch, but it's a good movie. And don't even get me started on the shitty ass 2025 movie from last year. That movie is ugh. Okay, now continuing on. This one is on my watch list. Also on my watch list. Also on my watch list as well, along with its sequel. Also on my watch list as well. Another peak movie that I remember seeing in theaters, and this is the only John Wick movie I have in my collection. I do want to get the first three sometime soon, and I still haven't seen the Ballerina spin-off yet, which I hope to watch that one soon. Fantastic Nickelodeon and Spielberg movie right here. Another movie that's on my watch list. Do want to watch it sometime soon. This one's on my watch list. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this Blu-ray copy because Whenever I try to test it out, the disc does not read. Okay, now on to the next pile. Oh shit. This one is also Peak. Little Shop of Horrors. Watch list, along with the other Alien movies and the Alien vs Predator sequel. Aquarium, which is on my watch list. Do you want to give this trilogy a watch in its entirety? And this is the only Family Guy related physical media that I have. I don't have any seasons of the show yet, but I do want to get some of them soon. Oh, hold on. Okay, now on to... And this one is also a hilarious as hell movie right here. Really like this one a lot. This one is on my watch list, along with the first movie. On Alright, I think I'll show these next ones as well. Step Brothers. One of my favorite comedies. And this is overall a hilarious as hell comedy that you just cannot go wrong with. Ha ha ha. That's so funny. The last time I heard that, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaur. This one needs a rewatch. I noticed the live chat is seem pretty quiet right now. That's just me. This one needs a rewatch. But it's also another movie I remember seeing in theaters when it first came out in 2017. Great movie. Now here comes another peak movie. Smile, you son of a bitch. Jaws. Love this movie a lot. One of Spielberg's best for real. Cannot go wrong with this. Another movie I remember seeing in theaters last summer, and this one is also peak. Alright, here we go, people. The last pile. The last few titles. So let's do this. I forgot this sequel existed. Hang on. I do want to do I want to do a marathon on these movies soon. This one includes Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It also came with the bonus features disc. This one is the Marvel 6-film collection set, and it comes with Iron Man 1 and 2, The Incredible Hulk, The Avengers, Thor, and Captain America the First Avenger. Both of these movies are on my watch list. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Yeah. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Classic. A timeless classic that you just cannot go wrong with. Love this movie a lot. This one is also on my watch list. Alright, now it's time for the Blu-ray box sets, and then we're done. So, yeah. Superman the movie is peak. Superman 2 is a great sequel, and Superman 3 is the weakest one, but it's an enjoyable one. The Quest for Peace is a piece of shit, and Superman Returns is a great movie. Wrong! That line, that never fails to make me laugh. Not again. There we go. All of these movies in this box set are on my watch list. And it also comes with a bonus disc. This case is a pain in the ass to close. Oh, never mind. I got it now. I got it now. Now here is another peak one. Spider-Man 1. Love this movie a lot. One of my favorite superhero movies ever. And while I think this one is peak, this sequel is slightly better. The weakest one out of the Raimi trilogy, but it is still a great conclusion. Okay, now for the last 3 box sets. Gonna start showing them off with the first one, Batman 1989. Classic stuff. Cannot go wrong with this one. This sequel, though, is slightly better, in my honest opinion. The weakest one out of the main Batman, the weakest one out of the Keaton Batman movies, but I still think it's a good one. This movie is a piece of shit, but I'm going to be keeping it because it's part of the box set I got. Okay, now on to the last two. Gonna be showing off the original Jurassic Park. Love this movie a lot. A 90s dinosaur thriller classic that you just cannot go wrong with. Fantastic sequel right here. Weakest Jurassic Park movie, but it's still a good one. Alright. And now, concluding off this collection stream, is the last and final one. My favorite movie of all time. One of my favorite movies of 1999, and this is overall one of the movies that you just cannot go wrong with. The Matrix, which is the complete trilogy box set. Love the first movie to death. Here's the original Matrix, which this one is peak. And one of my favorite movies of all time. Cannot go wrong with this one. Now here come the sequels. Great sequel. And here's the last one. The weakest one out of the Matrix trilogy, but it is still a great one. I don't have Resurrections yet, which I don't know if I'll get that one because that movie does need a rewatch. Oh shit, as a bonus, I also forgot to show another one. This one's also on my watch list. Do you want to give this one a rewatch? All right. That is it for my entire Blu-ray collection stream, aka my entire Blu-ray collection for 2026. And as a matter of fact, I'm out.